So now we know we're 5 mil. Now we go back and we know that if we do one step, down 1, down 2, down 3, down 4. That might be close enough to try with our little tool here. Put it in, and you can see we'll just do a home Z15, and that should bring it closer. As you notice then, the X and Y motors were lock solid. The Z motor was a bit weak. Now that may be a stepper driver problem in the future. You know, you might find out that with a lot of printing you're getting errors that way. Time will tell. I've noticed that there is a problem there. So as it's travelling down, if you manage to keep it square, if you made up an adapter that screwed it in and you actually kept it square, you'll be able to tell where the actual dot moved and which way all this is moving. We'll just put this on here. Okay. So the dot, I'll just home that now. So the crosshairs are now where the laser was pointing through the nozzle. You now can calculate the other two dimensions. 2, which is the delta smooth rod offset. As I know Z is the square one, I'll use that. And extra fifth eye, if you've got 4 already. So that's 150.5. So back to your notepad, from Z is 150.5. This won't be in the center because it depends on where this nozzle is to comparison to that, to the hole in the effector. So that can be, it won't be equidistant. And that one there, for example, 153. So Y is 153 and X is 151. So you may need to do that test 4, 5, 10 times if you like, and add them up and divide by 10, and that's your average. This is a good starting point. We know the measurements. We know, okay, to get the final dimension, which is from there to there, instead of trying to measure like that, say, all right, that's roughly in the center there. All what we do is we measure to the frame. That's 130. We know, we'll call this 5. 5 is 130. We already know the center from the laser point, and that was 150.5. So we subtract 2 from 5, and that will give us the 3. Just do another check. Yep. Measure twice, cut once. 3 therefore equals 19.5. So we then put that up the top, 19.5. So now we know what the measurements need to be. So once we've done that, we then follow what it says to do on page 11287, maximum print height, print bed center calculation procedures. So send it to home, move it down, and you get closer and closer to thickness of the paper. This particular piece of paper is 0.09, so 0.1. So now we know where it is to be 5 mil above the bed, so we can enter that G code in, go there, and then just go down. So what we'll do, I'll put in G20 just in case, Z20, because I like to check the repeatability. You can change these settings later, but this is just to get your machine running safely. I've now come and Z stepped it down to just touching the 5 mil, done an M114. And before, if you can remember, it was 12.7 millimeter it read. Now Z is reading 13. So just by going up and down and up and down, there's now 0.3 of a millimeter difference between what it was a couple of minutes ago to what it is now. So keep that in mind. Repeatability. It's fine measuring something once, but if it doesn't repeat back to the same exact position, you may need to make allowances for that. So now I know we're less than 5 mil away. It says to step it down till just the paper is rubbing. So you move it 1 mil less till it touches. So we go 4, and then we'll go in steps of 0.1. -1, -2, -3, -4. -0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9. I can feel the fur on the paper just starting to catch. So that is, as far as I'm concerned, 0.1. So now we'll just do a M1. It had disconnected and reconnected itself there. So again, that might be a software glitch where it thinks it at home and it's somehow lost some steps. So we need to repeat this 2 or 3 times. So at the moment, I've just done a M114 And remember before we calculated it should have been 7.3 millimetre to 0 plus 0.1 for the paper. So this should be 7.4. Z is 8.1. So that's 0.7 difference. We know it's 8.1 today at this time. So we go back to our notepad. Now you know why we've made up the notepad. Pieces of paper, you'll have heaps of them and numbers and you won't know what they mean. So now we just type in Z at 0.1 millimetre equals 8.1 original. Now what it says here to do is we're now going to define the new Z home position, and this is the max sprint height. So remember it was originally 239. Now we subtract the measurement, which is the, just disconnect it again, we'll do it still the same. So it's 8.1, so we just subtract 2, we'll just check it, make sure it's right, 239 minus 8.1, it works out to be 230.9. Yet when we measured it with the ruler, it was 225, and it's saying with those calculations it's 230. So there's a 5 mil difference somewhere. A bit scary, but that was just a number that was in there. So we'll do a home. You home it again, and you now just need to check the original Z position, and even though the manual says 239, do a M114 again in the home position, and on my machine is telling me it's 235, so we subtract the 8.1 away from the 235, so now the bed offset position is 226.9 millimeters, and the reading I had with the ruler was 225. Still looks 225 to me. So that's the reading that we'll put into the config file. So what you have to do now is to switch off the machine and enter in the config file changes.